Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Beantown Banter podcast.
Hunter on the move, racing back, it's over his head, it's gone, it's into the bullpen, this game is tied, this game is tied!
Rebound is on the top of the crease, Red Sox score! Bergeron! Driving forward, diving to the goal line! A touchdown! And a title! Anything's possible! Anything's possible!
Recording live from Boston, Massachusetts, here are your hosts, Brady Gardner and Patrick Donnelly.
And welcome to episode 9 of the Beantown Banter podcast.
Alright folks, Future Brady here, and I know what you're thinking. This audio is absolutely awful, and I completely agree with you. I'm not sure what happened, but hopefully you're able to tolerate it for the next 53 minutes of your lives, and if not, well, we'll see you next week. Anyway, continue.
Here with Patrick Donnelly, I'm Brady Gardner. How are we today, Patrick?
We're good. We're in the friendly confines of Warren Towers.
That's right, our second time recording here in the dorm room. We're at our own devices, so excuse any differences in audio quality as compared to our normal broadcasts from the College of Communication here at Boston University. But getting along here with Boston sports, we're going to start with some Bruins talk. This is kind of weird. It's the first night, really, where we don't have a Bruins, Celtics, or Patriots game in what feels like a long time. So we're looking at some previous stuff. But the Bruins, last night, coming off a major 2-1 victory over the Arizona Coyotes, and I think the real storyline with this team is just how banged up they have been in recent games.
Oh my god. The injuries on this team. I've only seen this happen in EA Sports simulations. So let's go through the laundry list, shall we? Going into the road trip, we have Charlie McAvoy with a concussion since October 18th. Is he still alive? We don't know. We have Urho Vakanainen with a concussion since, I think, October 23rd. Is he still alive? We don't know. Kevin Miller, broken hand since October 18th. Then we add Brandon Carlo to the list with an upper body injury. Those are four defensemen, 3 of whom are regulars. You are going into a big road trip without. Moving on. Add to the road trip. Wednesday night in Colorado, Zdeno Chara, who is a knee injury waiting to happen, a walking knee injury personified, gets a knee injury, given his age and size. And then we have Patrice Bergeron against, also in the Colorado game, who knows what happened to John Moore, but he's also lower body injury, so you lose 2 defensemen in one game. 2 regulars, by the way. One is probably your best shutdown defender still. And then, just wait, Thursday night in Dallas, Radek Faksa and Patrice Bergeron get tied up going to the boards. One replay angle kind of shows Faksa take his stick and little tug at Bergeron's skate, but we don't know if it was intent or not because they're both tied up. No matter what, Faksa follows through. Bergeron goes into the boards, head and shoulder first, goes down to the ice, grabbing his head where, oh boy, the man who's had 3 major concussions has another concussion. He goes to the locker room, comes back to the bench. Didn't take really any face-offs late in the game, though. So, and then all of a sudden
couldn't see the puck.
On Friday, it's announced that John Moore and Patrice Bergeron will both travel to Boston with Bergeron with an upper body injury. Oh, Chara also left the trip, too. So, you're down 2. You're without your best forward. Your arguable best player. You are without your best defenseman. You are without
your best forward defenseman.
Yeah, your best.
Here we go.
I don't know if I could put Kevin Miller on the 4.
No, 3.
No, Kevin Miller would be a 4, I guess. You are without. All right, so on defense, your only regulars. I'm gonna say your only regular is Torrey Krug because Matt Grzelcyk wasn't even supposed to be regular coming into the season. He was supposed to be the 7th man.
Yep.
On defense, your lines go. Grzelcyk Lozon, I believe. Krug Kampfer, I think. No, Krug Clifton. And then Saboro and Kampfer. Something along that line.
Oh, God.
And then last night in Arizona, Steven Kampfer gets drilled from behind into the boards. No call, by the way. And he labored to the bench. Thankfully, he finished the game. I haven't seen any updates on him, though. So, I mean, you could potentially be down to, your 12th defenseman here.
Oh, my God. We gotta break out the oxygen mask for this kid. He's losing his voice over all this.
We need some water.
I guess just in summary there, this is a banged up team, to say the least.
Everybody.
We're watching what would be kind of like a preseason scrimmage
If I wanted
team.
to see a Providence Bruins game, I would go down Route 1.
Yeah, it's not pretty, and you've been kind of lucky in that your last game was against Arizona, because they're not really anything special.
No, they've been solid this year. They're
Solid?
I think they're third in the Pacific.
Well, compared to what you had this time last week in Toronto and Vegas, you could have been worse.
Compared to what you had Wednesday and Thursday, Dallas and Colorado.
Right.
They
Both
lost the battle of first lines.
Yeah, both the games that they lost.
Dallas I would consider a win. I would definitely consider Dallas.
Now we're getting into that. We're getting away from the injuries into the performance of
the team.
Oh,
and Tuca.
Okay, there it is.
No, Tuca stood on the... All right.
Yeah, yep, go ahead. You can take your victory lap. Go ahead.
No, I don't want to, be... I don't want to be too brash here. But somebody on Twitter put it perfectly, but I can't say that.
No, please don't.
Tuca stood on his nose. We'll say that. He stood on the tip of his nose.
Oh, man.
He stood on his pinky toe. He was unbelievable.
He was.
From what I did see of the game. I was at the Celtics, subtle brag. I was at the Celtics, and I listened to the rest of the third in overtime and also streamed it on S&Go. But he looked really great. Exactly what you want to see. Hopefully, this is what we get more. Obviously, probably not going to be that great consistently. That's like every once in a while, performances like that. That's like every goal. You're not going to have that every single night. But hopefully, we get more solid performance from him, especially with Halak seemingly. I don't want to say tired or anything, but I think it's I don't know if he was prepared or not to be picking up this much of the workload early.
Of course not. He was signed as a backup goalie.
So I think it's might be catching up with him.
Yeah.
A little bit because
it would with anybody.
There was a 6 spot on 5 or 6 spot. I can't remember if it was an empty netter. It was a 5 spot on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then last week it was also another 5 spot against Vancouver.
They gave up 5 against... Oh, no, sorry. They scored 5 against Toronto in that 5-1 win.
Yep.
Never mind.
Halak's been good, though.
He's been very good, and I think
hopefully we can get more of this from Tuca.
Yeah, well, when you rely on Halak that much, I think he's bound to give up some goals at some point. It's just how it works. But I think the big thing is just seeing Tuca come back, put out such a strong performance in Dallas against such a team with so much offensive firepower, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's a huge performance from him. Obviously, the loss is not ideal, but the game-winning goal in overtime, nothing he really could have done about that.
You get a point out of it, too, with Bergeron not really being much of a factor late and without Chara, Moore, and everybody else.
Right, and just knowing the...
and you have Zaboral and Clifton both making their NHL debuts.
Yeah, the circumstances, the team around him, I think it was a pretty solid performance from Rask, and hopefully something he'll be able to build on. But the Bruins coming up into a little bit of a tricky patch here, mainly with Pittsburgh coming up on Friday, but they also take on Detroit on Wednesday. And then Montreal, who has somewhat impressed here early in the season, on Saturday ahead of next Monday, Toronto game that we will probably be recording our 10th podcast in advance of that one.
Yep.
Anything really scare you about these next 3 teams?
Pittsburgh and Toronto, and then I think, honestly, don't want to write off Detroit right away.
Yeah.
But I would.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
At the end of a long trip.
Yeah, and Montreal, too. But... honestly, if you Kevin Miller's going to be back on Wednesday. That's his scheduled return.
Yeah, right.
And they didn't rule out. You can control a broken hand more than a concussion.
Yeah.
And in the world we live in of upper body and lower body. So and then they still didn't. The road trip's kind of drawing to a close at this point. You're halfway through, but they didn't rule out McAvoy or Vaakanainen joining at some point. So maybe look for that happening. Maybe the last game or two.
Mm-hmm. I doubt it.
But right now, it's just got to keep weathering the storm. Jake DeBrusk is heating up. He had 2 in Colorado. He had another one last night, that 8th of the year. And then Pastrnak is obviously keeping it up. Pastrnak and Marchand without Bergeron. The lines, they've split Pastrnak and Marchand up last night. Seemed to work out. It was only a 2-1 victory, though. And then JFK, his first NHL goal.
Good little link-up, by the way, between DeBrusk and Marchand.
Yeah, Marchand 200 feet. Mm-hmm. And then DeBrusk puts in the loose change.
Mm-hmm.
But the third lines looked really great here with JFK. Heinen and Bjork have, I think their chemistry has continued to build, and I think that they've really picked it up lately, especially Bjork. He fed Heinen. It wasn't him who scored. It was Bjork fed Heinen for a good goal, I think, against either Vegas or Toronto, one of those 2 games last weekend. And they just really hadn't been getting the results on the scoreboard yet. And then last night, for his backup, puts in his first NHL goal. And it seemed kind of starting to heat up over the last week, overall, I'd say. And then tip your hat to Jeremy Lauzon.
Okay, so here we are with the lows on. Go ahead.
So, second round pick, 54th overall in 2015. And really, I mean, a lot of people, like, it was kind of like mixed bag. People were like, all right, yeah, he's a very good second round pick. But we had Bob McKenzie saying, I think it was Bob McKenzie saying he had first round talent. And we're seeing here the Bruins found a gem in Jeremy Lozon, if he can keep it up.
Early on here, it seems like that's
early returns. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like his numbers in Providence. I mean, he didn't really have that big of a role until this year.
Mm-hmm.
But his numbers in Providence the last 2 years were just like okay, decent. And then the rest of his junior career was really good. He's loading up on assists on the power play. He's got great vision, great hands, great skater, and he's averaging second most ice time on the team for the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And I think early returns here, Bruins struck gold.
Right, and I think that's kind of the silver lining of all the injuries that they've had. You're kind of getting these little gems maybe that would not have appeared otherwise. If you have an entirely healthy team for the majority of the season, and all of a sudden come March, you see a big Charlie McAvoy or somebody go down, you're like, who's the next guy up? Well, now you're getting kind of an early glimpse into, even when everybody's healthy, well, at least we can have Lozon come up to plug in some of those gaps. I think he's been a major asset to them here during this stretch where they've been at some very difficult circumstances on defense. But I think it's also shown you some of the shortcomings with other players. I believe it was Clifton last night with that ugly giveaway to lead to the goal. Yep. So
I mean, he's also was the second NHL game, and
Yeah.
I don't think anyone, especially him, was really expecting to get a call this year.
But I don't mean to single him out. I just mean you are seeing that there are still some growing pains.
Yeah, and they've kind of sheltered Zaboral a little bit with his minutes. I mean, he only played 10 minutes in Dallas, but I mean, he looked okay. I mean, especially at the start of the game in Dallas, he was a little shaky. Then he picked it up at the end. I didn't really pay attention to him too much last night. It was more focusing on Lozon again. But I mean, Lozon is certainly helping his case with the depth chart because going into the year with the D prospects, you're thinking, oh, Vaakanainen's definitely surpassed Zaboral and Lozon at this point. And then you start to wonder where Lozon and Zaboral fit themselves, like who's ahead of the other, or like how do they fare in relation to say Matt Grzelcyk for a depth spot or a roster spot.
Right.
But early returns here are good.
I agree. So Bruins coming into a tricky little stretch here with some certain question marks.
Secondary scoring. Secondary scoring.
Secondary scoring being one that we've talked about before, so we don't really need to get into that, but still a problem that could be addressed. Did you want to cover one final Bruins thought? I know you had an article earlier this week on some options that they could bring in.
Yeah, check it out on WTBUsports.com. It's a shameless plug. Or sportswtbu.com.
Yeah.
I mean, our elephant in the room, Artemi Panarin.
No thanks.
But if your conversation starts and ends with Chuck, then no, absolutely not.
Chucky McAvoy?
Yep.
Okay.
Charlie McAvoy.
Yeah.
Chucky Bright Lights, Chucky.
Charlie Franchise?
Charlie Franchise, CM73, anything we can go here. He branded himself as CM73.
Barstool hat.
Yep.
I'm surprised you don't have one of those.
I don't. Not much of a flat hat,
No?
flat brim hat guy. Yeah, that was more middle school. The snapbacks, when those were big.
I gotcha.
But honestly, I don't really think. I mean, Panarin would be fantastic. It would just depend on what you have to give up for him and what you're going to be paying him, if there's an extension in place. Which, obviously, you don't even know. But I think more realistic options would be Wayne Simmons or Jakob Silfverberg. Silfverberg, I mean, the Ducks are in a tricky situation. They're 21st in the league, and they're right in the middle of the Pacific, but they're also struggling, and they're surrounded by aging veterans, and their window is slamming shut. The end is very much in sight, especially with Kessler falling off Max Kellerman's cliff, and then injuries Kessler's had, and then Perry injuries also falling off the cliff, and then Getzlaf is still doing fine, but it's coming. And I think Silfverberg is a free agent at the end of this year, but I think if you're the Bruins, he's 27, I believe, so you can definitely look into re-signing him. It'd be pretty reasonable. Mm-hmm. He's only making 3 3/4 right now, and I don't see him getting much of a pay raise to any more than 4.5, 5, which, I mean, the cap's going up. When everyone's healthy and the roster looks like what it should look like, you have anywhere from 5 to 6.5 in cap space, and I think you could definitely accommodate him without moving a roster player. I think you definitely start with a second, or in and like a guy like what did I say? Who did I say? Peter Solaric. That's who.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing for Wayne Simmons. Wayne Simmons obviously like a better player than Silfverberg, more numbers, around 25 to 30 goals, and then 50 to 60 points, where Silfverberg's usually around 40 to 50 points. But I mean, Simmons, you think about the days of Iginla, Horton, Lucic on Krejci's flanks, he's a perfect fit.
Yeah, I know you're a big Simmons guy yourself.
I'm not really a big Simmons guy. He's like the classic guy who pisses you off when you play against that team, but you know, on your team, my goodness, look out.
Mm-hmm. I actually have one of those, and you're probably going to roast me for this one and tell me it's completely wrong for a reason that I haven't even anticipated. What do you think of Bobby Ryan?
No.
No?
No.
That's a certified Bruins killer who's got under your skin in the past. He's 31 years old, but he has, proven goal-scoring ability. He's one of those kind of scrappier players, so he would fit in with the modern style of the game, this quick hockey that you see from some of these younger guys. He's signed through 2021.
He's fallen off.
He has?
He's got a modified no-trade clause and a no-movement clause.
That was quick Googling.
He's making $7.25 million until 2022.
See, I don't look into numbers.
$7.25 million.
I look at names and ages.
For a guy who has gone from 48 points with the Senators. Where did he get this contract? Was it from the year we scored 64 points and then 57 from the Ducks? I mean, that was 6 years ago. We scored 57 points.
No, he probably got it after he did well in the playoffs against the Bruins.
He hasn't. No, he.
Just now.
He hasn't.
Sure.
He hasn't topped 56 points since 2012.
I still think he can provide
his numbers go 30, 48, 54, 56.
Okay.
And then the last 2 years where his name has really come up in trade deadline talks.
Right.
Has been 25 points, only 13 goals, 33 points, only 11 goals.
I think
he's a younger David Backes who's still doing okay third-line production.
How much does David Backes make?
David Backes makes 6.
I would trade David Backes for Bobby Ryan straight swap.
Senators will not do that, though.
Why not?
I mean,
they need some leadership.
They were begging people to take Bobby Ryan's contract with Erik Karlsson.
They're rebuilding now.
They were begging. Why would they need David Backes for a rebuild?
I don't know. Who knows?
Why do they need Bobby Ryan for a rebuild? That's why they're begging people to take him away.
Well, we'll take him, please.
No,
we'll give him one of our defenders because we have so many young defenders.
Fine. Last time they played in the playoffs, he went 15 points, 6 goals, 19 games.
That was against the Bruins, right?
6 of those games were.
So.
And then the playoffs before that, 2 goals in 6 games. The year before that, 4 goals in 7 games. And I mean. No, because I'm now into the numbers with the Ducks when he was playing with Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf.
That's so long ago. Don't waste
6
your time.
years ago, where he's been relevant in 6 years.
Okay, well, I don't know. I just heard the name tossed around.
The only reason he's been relevant, the Senators are like on their hands and knees asking for people to take his contract.
I would be interested if the price is right. Anyway,
and if they retain half his salary, maybe.
Okay, well,
which is the max you can retain.
I've poked the bear, I realize. So we're nearing 20 minutes here on Bruins talk, but let's move along.
Nice, it's so nice.
Yeah, I know you love this time of year, really. Let's move along to the other TD Garden tenant in the Boston Celtics.
I mean, the Bruins kind of own it. The Celtics are paying rent.
God, geez.
Jacobs owns the Garden.
I can do no right today.
Delaware North Corporation, Jacobs Company, owns the Bruins and the Garden.
Why are we talking about
so
this?
So the Celtics are paying rent.
Okay. That makes it a tenant. Right?
No, you said the other. The Celtics are like the only.
The Bruins aren't the tenant. Okay.
The Bruins don't have to pay any rent to Jeremy Jacobs. Jeremy Jacobs pays his own rent.
All right. That's enough. So the the Celtics had 3 games. I am rattled. The Celtics had 3 games.
In your kitchen.
You are. The Chicago Bulls. The Celtics defeated them 111-82. Yeah, it was kind of refreshing for once to not be Actually, they were down early to a bad team, but then they kind of coasted the rest of the way once they got ahead, and the Bulls just kind of took the L. But the big win came over the Toronto Raptors, 123-116 in overtime. Kyrie Irving putting up a game-high 43 points.
And 10 assists.
And you were in attendance.
I was in attendance. Kyrie's 10,000th point, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You were not just in attendance, though.
You
were with the high rollers.
I was in a box, met Leon Poe.
The Leon.
One of the most violent dunkers in Celtics history.
Yeah.
While I was wearing the jersey of the current most violent dunker on the Celtics, Jaylen Brown.
But yeah, as long as he doesn't fall on his neck every time he dunks.
One time.
One time.
One time.
Okay.
I mean, Leon Poe, his feet ruined his career, but yeah. Probably from landing too hard from the dunks. But yeah, Leon Poe, very exciting to watch back in the heyday, 2008.
Yeah. Right.
Got some autographs. Got the picture with the 81 trophy.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a great game. I think, like, Hayward, we're going to jump into Hayward. Because Kyrie Irving is I'll do my best Stephen A impression. Kyrie Irving is a bad man.
He is, as long as his knee doesn't explode.
Which it hasn't yet.
Yet. It didn't this time last year.
He's been carrying the offense.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that.
Well,
in November.
So the thing is, what we're seeing. No, I think we're seeing more of the same from Kyrie, because this is what he does. The ball goes through him. He dribbles more than anybody, and he finishes.
He does it for 4 months, and then he disappears because of his knee.
Sure.
Get Terry Rozier more involved, please. It'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It'll save Kyrie's knee.
Trade him.
Trade Terry?
Trade Terry.
Then who's your second point guard when Kyrie inevitably goes down?
Marcus Smart.
Oh, God, it hurts. We don't talk about Marcus Smart.
Wanamaker.
Oh, no. It is, whatever. Continue.
I think the offensive struggles is that you're trying to integrate Hayward and Kyrie back into the team. You're trying to reintegrate Kyrie, and you're trying to fully integrate Hayward.
It's not as much as they had to integrate last season, though. We talked about this last week. I don't know. People complain about how, they're still trying to rebuild here. Like, they had this team last year. Anyway.
Yeah, but I think, and the people are pointing to Tatum, aside from like the last few games, being Mr. Inconsistency, since the first week. And then Brown kind of more the same from last year, where he's not taking the step where I and other people expected. Yeah. But I think it's also because, not like especially last year in the playoffs, in the end of the season, where we are remembering the honeymoon period for Tatum and Brown,
right,
and Rozier, is that the ball was going through them for offense, and now it's not. Now it's going through Kyrie for offense, and they're back to more tertiary roles. Right. And you're also trying to fully integrate a player who is supposed to be a key part of this team.
Huh.
I think they'll pull it together at some point.
Of course they will.
It's just a matter of when. And also, it's a lot of the issues is like the last 4 years. It's rebounding. I mean, Horford's picked it up lately. I think he had 9 rebounds against Toronto. I don't know how he did last night, but you see a guy like Tyson Chandler.
Hello.
I think the Bruins, not the Bruins. The Celtics could use a guy like Tyson Chandler.
Where is he right now?
LA.
LeBron's not going to let him leave.
Unless he pisses him off, but...
Yeah, then he'll be pushed out the door.
No, but, not specifically Tyson Chandler, but, Marcus Gasol has been in conversation with the Celtics forever. Trade Terry for Marcus Gasol.
Really? A washed-up Marc Gasol?
No, it was more just popped in my head and I threw it out there as nonsense.
Okay, please. Thank you. Yeah.
But just... Honestly, I don't know the trade market in the NBA. My focus is the Celtics, and then whatever First Take mentions, I guess. But you just gotta. I don't know if a trade really needs to happen. It really doesn't. You have the roster. I just think it's once everyone just comes together.
Cliche.
I feel like I've been talking a lot here. Do you want
No, that's cool. You have a lot more experience with the Celtics in recent days than I have, being there and all that. I think it's still interesting to talk about Anthony Davis because the Pelicans are still going absolutely nowhere.
It's definitely an option, but I don't know what package you can make for Davis.
Brown, definitely not Tatum. They're going to want Tatum. I'd give him Brown. I'd give him Rozier, and I'd give him the Sacramento pick.
I don't know if that's enough though.
How?
For generational talent. I mean, we were trying to define...
Generational talent.
But we were trying to define generational talent the other day. There's really no definition. Everybody just says it and everyone rolls with it. But it's a one-of-a-kind player, which is what Davis is.
Is Giannis
Giannis is.
He's a generational talent.
I mean...
He's the same generation
it's only the third year of his career.
Oh.
Third or fourth year. So, I think once we see prime Giannis and prime Davis...
Oh.
Look out.
Yeah. Get Davis to Boston, and then you got Giannis against Davis in the playoffs. You got you got Davis against Embiid. You got all these young kids.
I don't know
in the East. Oh, it'd be so nice.
I don't know what package you can make for Davis though.
Well, you can. What reasonable package?
I mean, why would the Pelicans want Rozier? They already have Drew Holiday.
Yeah, I guess. He's getting up there though, isn't he?
I don't know. I think he's still in his prime.
Let's consult the Googles. Then who else? Well,
Clearly not national guys here. Drew Holiday's 28.
he's what?
28.
Okay.
Not up there at all.
What is Kyrie, like 26?
Kyrie's 27, I believe.
Yeah, so same. Yeah, basically.
Kyrie's 26.
Boom! Hello! That's a point Brady right there. Thank you. I don't get him very often. I mean, you can see if they'd be interested in Gordon Hayward, but we wouldn't trade him.
That'd be dumb.
That'd be dumb. Wait, what? For the Celtics?
To sign a guy and trade him right away.
That's a Danny Ainge move. Trader Danny!
No, that's a Rick Pitino move.
Well, yeah, we talked about that.
That's a Celtics Rick Pitino move. Just make a bad move, then undo it by trading him away.
Sure. Well, we're not saying it's a bad move, but it'll make you better if you move him. So, sorry, buddy. I know it's...
They want Hayward, though.
Unlucky. Yeah. Well...
He's 27, I think?
I don't know. We have a lot of late 20s, I guess. What is Al? Probably 29.
Horford's 32.
Oh, my.
Hayward's 28.
Okay.
Yeah, but Al Horford's 32.
Wow, we're all over the place.
Because he's going to be 34 by the time the max runs out, which I believe would be the end of his tenure in the Celtics, unless he takes like 2 years at lesser money.
I would want that.
Which I think would be very reasonable.
Keep him around.
Because, I mean, at that point, like, that first year he's probably still a starting caliber, then the second it's probably like...
Leadership role.
Maybe a platoon on the bench.
We'll take the leadership role.
For a guy that has a concussion history, too. Little wobble there, my bad.
Well, I can't lose the microphone balanced on the trash can, balanced on the chair.
I don't even know like what other points we need to make. We're so over the place here.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Well, I mean, I think the logical...
It's just spirited debate.
Spirited debate, indeed. That's the goal.
You don't know where it's going to take you.
That's what you get here on the Beantown Banter podcast. This week, coming up for the Celtics, they've got 4 matchups, including a rather interesting one with the Charlotte Hornets, featuring tickets for only $12. Got any plans for tomorrow night? And then, what? Yeah, work. At the
Poor Kemba Walker.
Poor Kemba Walker, indeed.
I have 60 and they still lost.
Yeah, I have him on my fantasy team, so I'm not complaining, but he's deserves better.
Away.
He deserves better.
He is wasting away.
They've been trying to build around him for so long, and just not happening.
With who? Cody Zeller?
Yep, that's the problem. Oh, we missed. Good old Cody Zeller.
No,
Tyler Zeller.
Tyler Zeller.
Yeah, whatever. Same difference. They're both mediocre.
They're both white Canadian guys who are bigs.
They're brothers, right?
I think they're twins.
Oh.
They're brothers. We know that for sure.
Okay. Anyway, then Wednesday they take on the New York Knicks. Friday against the Atlanta Hawks, and Saturday against the Dallas Mavericks. So nothing too exciting.
Definitely beatable teams in all 4 games.
Very beatable teams. And then New Orleans.
Beatable teams.
Next Monday you got New Orleans. You have
even with Davis, they're still beatable.
5 games in 8 days though, so it's going to be a little test of their depth, I believe.
Testing Hayward.
Yeah, testing Hayward for sure. You said he's now off his
second game off the minutes restriction.
Off the minutes restriction, so he's supposedly 100%, and he's good to go.
Supposedly 100% conditioning.
Okay.
So I think that was the point of the minutes restriction.
Conditioning. You're telling me you didn't do enough conditioning in all of his rehab?
You missed an entire year, man.
We get to this every time. It always resorts to...
You missed an entire year.
You missed an entire year.
There's a difference between scrimmages and training camp and game speed.
Yeah, I guess so.
You can try and do that all you want, but there's game speed, there's the game, then there's scrimmage. And like we can listen to the talk about Kyrie saying, "Oh my God, it looks like a real team out here during scrimmages in the preseason."
Right.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm sort of coming around on Gordon Hayward, but very slowly.
He's picking it up.
He's picking it up.
And I did kind of put you in a bag over text.
What?
When I asked you what your expectations were for him.
Oh well, you hit me with surprise on that one. I didn't really have a good answer.
And thus far, he met every single expectation you had.
I know, that's the problem.
It was 15 to 20 points per game in Utah, and right now he's doing 15 at home, I think.
Yeah. Oh, at home. In front of the green teamers.
And it's like 10 or 11 overall. That might have changed though. He did have a good night. Let's go on Basketball Reference real quick. Take up more of your time with Google. Currently, he's averaging 10 a game. Through 15, 5 rebounds and 3 assists.
Okay.
At Utah, oh look, he averaged 2 a game last year in 5 minutes.
Wonderful.
In Utah, he went 16, 19, 19, and then 21. His last one of his breakout years.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going to be 20 a night, especially with Kyrie and Tatum. I think anywhere from 15 to 20 a night, he's fine. Yep. Which is, he's starting to get more into that lately.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that'll do it for Celtics talk. just about at the half-hour mark here. So moving swiftly along into NFL, it's the Patriots bye week, that time of season where you get all the Patriots fans on Twitter posting all these gifs of Tom Brady frustrated and saying, I hate the bye week, but it couldn't have come at a better time for the Pats coming off that ugly loss in Tennessee, and now looking forward to a thrilling matchup against the New York Jets. He says very sarcastically. But what are you?
I mean, it could be given the way this team is playing.
That's true. So what are you hoping for, or hoping they'll get out of this bye week?
Hoping for just complete skull crushing of the Jets.
Well, no, and on a broad sense.
Well, I mean, obviously you want the defense to come back more and sound.
Consistency.
Okay.
Please.
No, take the reins. Don't hand it to me if you already have something.
I want consistency on both sides.
Okay.
This is a team with so much experience. You got your 19-year quarterback or whatever.
Who's last in the league against the blitz, by the way.
I know. He gets afraid when they start running at him. It's true.
I would be given that line.
Yeah.
But
you should be able to get the job done against teams like the Tennessee Titans. You know, you have enough experience. You should be able to do it.
But the way the Titans win it, they suffocate other teams.
Yeah.
Not really big blowout defenses. And what they did to us was suffocate us.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Patriots fan asking for too much, but I just wish we'd get consistent performances that we can
need
build
consistency. I think Burkhead will help coming back.
That's right.
I think Gronk will help too, if he's 100% healthy like they say he will be.
I'm not counting on that at all. I would say plan for a postseason without Gronk. Bold take.
Plan for a post. I mean, you don't have Dwayne Allen right now, so it's Gronk and then Jacob Hollister.
Hollister impressed at times.
Allen's out the next 3 to 6. They said.
Yeah. Well, he never did anything anyway.
Other than just a bunch of drops.
Run block. Also, how do you feel about the Colts beating the Titans 38-10 this week?
Not good.
That hurts.
What was the final score for us? 27-10. Imagine if the
34-10.
Oh, close. Imagine if the Titans won, then lost by the same score.
To the Colts, who we slapped earlier this season.
I mean, yeah. Other than that, it's really all there is in the Patriots. You're getting Burkhead back. You're getting Gronk back. Hopefully,
we'll see.
They say Edelman will be 100%.
He hasn't.
Huh?
Oh, he got beat up in that game.
He left with an ankle,
Yeah,
but they said it's nothing serious at all. Hopefully Michelle's 100%. Didn't look too great against Tennessee. Then again, nobody did.
No one did.
Yeah, it's really all I can hope for. Does James White still lead the team in receiving yards? James White still leads the team in receiving yards.
That's.
Oh, no, nothing changed. That's right, 'cause we recorded last week and I said that. Absolutely nothing changed. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah, I think you just need to be able to beat the teams you're supposed to beat and get things out of these games. You do wonder if maybe they're hiding some things against the Titans like they sometimes do against teams they anticipate coming up against later in the year. Maybe they think the Titans will sneak it out there in the AFC South, and then they'll see them in
Probably.
in a wild or in a divisional. Who knows? Although you have to wonder if the Patriots will even be starting their playoffs in the ever common divisional round, as we've seen so many years here, because it seems like it might be a little trickier than normal to get that first week bye.
I think they'll get the first round bye. I think they'll get first. I think they'll get home field for the divisional round, but the AFC Championship's going through Arrowhead.
Yeah, that seems to be the case, and I think if you're the Patriots,
I would be very afraid.
If you're the Patriots, you need a LA Rams win tomorrow night over the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
And then you gotta hope.
I need an LA Rams win.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta hope that the Seahawks can pull it together enough to maybe give the Chiefs some competition in their matchup later this season. You gotta hope that Chargers can. Chargers sitting at 7-2.
Chargers are quietly doing very good.
Very well.
But they're just gonna tease us like this and then blow it at the end.
It's how it works. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh Steelers 7-2-1 after one of the ugliest wins you'll ever see.
They're a joke. The Steelers are a joke.
Yeah. It was terrible, and they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Ben Roethlisberger threw 4 picks, 5 if you want to count the one that got called back for a pretty shoddy defensive or roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, not good.
And just the play calling from that game. Like, run the ball, all right? Run the ball. Play with James Conner.
Would have been helpful for my fantasy team, too.
I think they're obviously going to keep winning, but hot take, Mike Tomlin is Marvin Lewis. He's no matter how...
Wow.
Not like, they're going to be fine. They're always going to have a good record, but no matter how inept he looks, especially in playoff games, he's never going to lose his job.
Wow.
They've only gone through 4 head coaches in the franchise's history.
You could almost say that for the Ravens with Jim Harbaugh, too.
Yeah, I mean...
Tell me about the AFC North.
Speaking of the Ravens, I mean, I just had this conversation about Lamar Jackson. Like, you started him because you had to today. But, like, other than that, like, why did you waste... not really waste, because, I mean, Flacco's role beyond this year remains to be seen.
Right.
But so far, you draft this very talented kid who can play 3 positions on offense and do them pretty good, I think. Pretty well. Excuse me. And you use him as a hood ornament for, like, every play. Every play is in there. It's either...
Jackson?
Yeah. He's been used as a hood ornament. Like, it's either, like, a sweep, a draw, QB option,
Yep.
or just some trick play.
Yep.
And then today, you're forced to start him. He throws for 150 yards, 117 rush yards. The rush yards is what stands out. But I think the work Jackson does in this offseason, look out next year, folks. I want the Patriots to take him, by the way.
Yeah, I would have liked that too, although it wouldn't really fit their offensive scheme, but who knows.
Adapt.
Yeah,
The
Josh
game is-
McDaniels.
Get a mobile quarterback for once in your life. God!
Oh, you only had the greatest quarterback of all time for the last 19 years, so
No.
sorry if that's not enough.
No, I mean, you know what I mean. I'm not, I don't know what I mean. There's really no argument to that. Get a young kid who can be a mobile quarterback, all right?
Patty Mahomes.
You can't go with Brady and then Brian Hoyer for the next 3 years.
Please don't.
You cannot. You need to get someone soon.
Well, there are a couple interesting names in the draft.
Wait, just like, I don't know, Tank when 2 was eligible.
You've got 2 first-round picks in the draft this year.
You
I
do.
think they got a quarterback with one of them. And then you light that fire under Brady. You
he'll-
get the same thing with Garoppolo.
He'll probably
Couple years
do
ago.
like 2 linemen again, like he always does.
Please no.
And
I say
like-
win.
And they'll both
we're-
get hurt in the preseason.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Only other thought, how about the Jacksonville Jaguars falling to 3-7 at the hands of the Steelers in the game we already mentioned? But my God, this is a team that really beat you pretty convincingly in Week 2, gave you a good fight in the AFC Championship last year, and now they are dead last in the AFC South. I realize we're kind of getting into national news here, but that is pretty unfortunate for people down there in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm. Or joke. Sorry if I kind of spaced out there for a second, but did you mention they're considering trading Jalen Ramsey this offseason?
Well, I know he's talked about it, but I did not mention that now.
Report they are considering trading Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah,
Blockbuster move.
Interesting. Well, we'll keep our eye out for that one, but moving along now.
Final note.
Okay.
I don't think the Patriots will beat the Saints anymore if they get them in the Super Bowl. If the Patriots
What?
get in the Super Bowl. Saints are averaging the 3rd most points per game all time.
Okay.
Behind
Against
the 2007 Patriots and I think the 2015 Broncos.
How good is their defense?
Just like okay.
Yeah, okay. So they'll
But-
get into a shootout with the
Okay.
Chiefs or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Do they play the Chiefs?
You
That'd be
gotta
amazing.
consider Drew Brees a favorite for MVP at this point.
Yeah, how about Drew Brees? Turn him back the clock. Anyway,
Not really, just do more of the same, just elevate it a little more.
I guess so.
Alright, now we can move on.
All right, moving on to probably a pretty brief segment here about the Boston Red Sox, as it is the off season. Not too much going on, other than down Fenway Park, some high school football games coming up,
Some college football and some hurling.
and some it's hurling.
Hurling.
I've never seen hurling, and I'm not sure I want to.
It's an Irish sport.
It's like lacrosse, but with soccer nets.
It's soccer nets. It's a little like lacrosse and soccer and hockey combined.
How is this possible?
I don't
On
know.
a football
I've
field.
never seen it.
I've
never seen it.
I would
played.
be so unbelievably confused. by
Actually, I've seen clips, and it's actually kind of violent. It's a little bit of rugby too. I mean, there's no
it.
pads.
What is this game? All right. Well,
I'm
that's
also like talking out of the side of my mouth here. Like I don't know anything about it. I really don't.
this is a hurling minute for you.
Look, the sticks look like lacrosse sticks. Google it with us, folks. Look,
Yeah, it's like lacrosse sticks.
yeah, and they wear helmets with cages and
That's
no
it.
pads.
Yeah.
It's like a rugby uniform with
Yeah.
a soccer net.
All right.
The ball's really hard. I know that too.
Well, we missed our chance to go to it because it was
The
today.
ball's like a baseball.
Anyway, how did we
And
even
you
get on
hit
this
with
topic?
that.
So,
Fenway, Red Sox.
Red Sox, that's the team we're talking about. So, Steve Pearce coming back to Boston for another year after a $6.25 million contract just for the 1 year. Obviously, I think it's huge to keep him around, not just because of what he did in the postseason, but also the track record against the Yankees, and how he provided depth at that position. But my main concern is how is it going to go with the combination of Mitch Moreland and Steve Pearce platooning at first base for an entire season?
I mean, You mentioned how you said both would start on teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Pierce would only start on teams because of the playoffs he had.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's more of a platooning situation.
I don't know about that. I mean maybe
he can't hit right-handed pitching, and he's inconsistent. And I think for that inconsistency and the right-handed pitching issue, you have Moreland, who's a lefty and also suffers from inconsistency, but get hot, stay hot, and one goes cold, put the other one in.
And I mean, they're just both, one's a World Series MVP, the other one's an All-Star. Are they going to really want to take off, every other game?
Well, I think so, because Moreland pretty much lost his job to him at the end of the year.
Yeah, but is he just going to succumb to that and just go back into his shell?
I think they're going to have much more clarity on what the role is.
Well, I hope so.
Because I think Cora is all about clarity.
Yes. It does seem like Cora is very good at managing egos in that kind of way.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like one's never going to play. You can base who plays all off matchups, pitching matchups, defensive matchups, etc. And even if one starts, don't be shocked if you see another one late in the game. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. I think you're spoiled with riches here.
I agree, and you hope that it continues here long term, but you hate to wonder, or you have to wonder, if it's only going to be another year or so until this team is kind of back into a rebuilding phase a little bit.
Oh, it won't shock me.
No. Well, one of these big, pieces of the puzzle here is Mookie Betts, who won an MVP award to go along with his Silver Slugger, his Golden Glove, his World Series, and his newborn child.
Yep.
Have a November.
Season for him.
Busy season for this guy, my gosh. But good for him.
Baby born November, let's do the math here, February, before spring training. There we go.
What?
You do the math here, 9 months, if the baby was born in November, I mean, before spring training, you still need stuff to do.
What? Hey, no distractions.
Cold winter down there.
There were no distractions in the off season. You did it. What are we doing? Wow. Man, we're gonna change the rating on this podcast.
I think the biggest issue. Speaking of awards, people are all up in arms about Cora not winning.
That was I don't know.
Not winning.
I thought it was an outrage at first, but I've kind of come around.
Total respect to Bob Melvin. The A's completely shocked the nation. They were not supposed to be that good.
And that's why he got.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, the case you get for Cora is also a payroll kind of inflated because of Rusney Castillo, Alan Craig, and Pablo Sandoval.
Alan Craig.
Alan Craig still making $1 million.
Where is he?
Suck it.
He's really
soon to be Worcester.
Oh my gosh, he is.
Yeah, he was making $1 million this year.
He's still around.
Rusney Castillo, I think, was making like $27 million.
But at least he has a chance of being half decent.
No, he doesn't.
Castillo?
Rusney Castillo's like 30.
He's fine. What?
Rusney Castillo is
31.
Like
26.
No, he's 31. They brought him in here as supposed to be the guy who comes from Cuba and is an all-star right away because he's in his prime.
What?
No,
My life is a lie. Alan Craig is still in Pawtucket. Rusney Castillo is in his 30s.
Rusney Castillo's making $10.5 million. $10.5 million.
In Pawtucket.
In Pawtucket.
He's loving life.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
This guy plays every other night and makes $10 million. What a guy. All right.
Probably rakes in Pawtucket, too.
I think he does. They wanted to bring him up, but he would have been over the luxury tank.
Let's look.
Oh, the online resources today.
Why do we only show the MLB standard here if he's not playing in the MLB?
Oh boy. That's crazy. And Pablo Sandoval's still on your payroll.
Yep.
Who was managing the books here? Was this back in the Ben Cherington age? No. That was a while ago.
No, he was. I think he was first brought up with Cherington.
Oh my God.
So
what's he doing
this year in Pawtucket? Rusney Castillo had only 5 home runs.
Okay.
5 home runs in 117 games in Pawtucket.
Oh no.
59 RBIs, 151 hits. He's a mess. He can't even hit in the minors.
How long do we have him?
His contract. Let's look up salary info.
Yeah, we're Googling.
Contract status, 7 years, $72.5 million. He's on the 3rd year, I believe.
Oh my God. This guy's set.
Oh no, he's on. So first year was 2015, I believe. I'm trying to figure. First year might have been 2014 when he was 26.
Jeez, I thought this kid was like.
So we got like 3 more years of Rusney.
Great. Pawtucket, actually Worcester fans.
Well, I mean,
Go
Worcester
on.
in like 3 years when it'll probably be gone.
That's a good point. You need to
They
build a
need to
ballpark.
build
That's
a
always
stadium.
important. Pawtucket fans, you can still go down and see the most overpaid outfielder
Go right down Route 1 and watch Rusney Castillo sit on the bench and make $10.5 million.
and see the Providence Bruins while you're at it.
And you can see Alan Craig just play right field like a boss, making $1 million.
Is he still in right field?
I
Did he play
believe-
first too? I think he's at first.
Alan Craig. Oh, first baseman. I don't know why I thought right field.
He played right when he was with us because we.
Yeah, he's playing right in Pawtucket.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
The guy's like 35.
Minor league stats. Alan Craig is currently
God.
Alan Craig is currently 34. And last season in Pawtucket. Oh no, he didn't even play in Pawtucket this year. He played in El Paso.
Oh my. Well,
So-
that's nicer for him.
I don't know what his current MLB team is. No, yeah, he was still with the Red Sox. I don't know what he's doing in El Paso though. Probably like a loan or something. If that happens.
That's a thing?
If that happens, I know it happens in hockey. He hit 13 home runs in 92 games.
Wow.
Better than Rusney Castillo.
Well, in Texas. Anyway.
True. No, it's still AAA.
Yeah. So,
He played San Diego affiliate.
alright.
I don't know what happened there, but he was still on the payroll though. I do know that.
That's crazy. Alright, some national news now. We've already kind of gone around the NFL a little bit. Do you have anything else to add about that?
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith, and you hate to see that. See, we're recording this late on a Sunday night, so we're already kind of reacting to some of these NFL storylines as they've come here today. Alex Smith with a very ugly-looking leg injury. Any details on it that I may be unaware of?
I mean, it's just the Joe Theismann comparisons.
Go ahead.
So it's 33 years ago to the date of Joe Theismann's injury. Same team, a quarterback. Both injuries happened at the 40-yard line. The same final score of both games. Redskins lost both games. And Smith is 34. Theismann was 35.
That's frightening.
That is creepy.
And it's the second time just this week that we've seen an ugly leg injury like that.
Yep, Karis LeVert earlier in the week.
But he was all right. He's
Yeah,
going to be
he's-
back
he-
within a couple weeks.
He's gonna be all right. It's just
Despite his ankle literally twisting all the way around.
yeah. Was it just dislocation? That's
Just dislocation.
Yeah,
But those look the worst.
he'll be okay.
Yeah, they were literally
It's
in
not,
the...
it's not a dislocation with a couple fractures in there like Hayward.
Right, yeah. Well, in the Saints-Eagles game today, Jason Kelsey went off and had some problem. They were like, oh, they're just trying to pop his elbow back into place.
Oh, sweet.
It's like, what? He didn't come back the next series, thankfully, but it was like, what the heck is going on here?
Speaking of Kelsey, we have a bit of a double-edged sword for fantasy tomorrow night.
Oh, boy.
I need Todd Gurley to go off, yet I also need Travis Kelsey to go off.
You need a shootout.
I do need a shoot. I think that'll happen.
Yeah.
Saints have been, not Saints, Rams have been a suspect defense lately, and then the
course.
Chiefs were already a suspect defense.
Everybody's a suspect defense these days because defense doesn't matter.
Except it wins championships, though.
That's what they always say, but I don't know if it does anymore.
Didn't happen in Super Bowl 52.
Yeah. Times are changing. Defense didn't win a championship in 51.
I think so, because of the
That's
Hightower
a
sack.
Well, there's one play. So, yeah. Falcons defense certainly didn't win them a championship.
And
Their offense did everything they
Falcons defense falling apart won us a championship, so defense wins championship. Spin zone. Boom.
Oh, wow. Well, any other final thoughts to close us out here?
Just this whole toughness thing coming back in the NHL.
I haven't heard about this.
Where people are like, oh my god, we're not tough enough. The Bruins need an enforcer. Trade Milan Lucic. I mean, make the Oilers eat half his salary. I mean,
Why have I not heard this?
it's been on Twitter. Joe Haggerty. Just, that's all you need to know.
Jeez.
Idiot. Really, like, it's all clickbait. Like, he's just doing his best 2 to 6 impression with writing.
God, every week we get a 2 to 6 reference.
Oh, it's terrible, Mike. But, I mean, so what happened? It was someone on the Lightning. I don't remember his name. It was a nobody. Went after, I think it might have been Ryan Strome who they traded this week. Ryan Spooner for Ryan Strome, 1-for-1. Hopefully change the scenery work. Put Ryan Spooner with Connor McDavid and watch what happens. Anyways.
Put anybody with Connor McDavid, watch what happens. Put you with Connor McDavid and watch what happens.
I'm not even fast enough to keep up with Connor McDavid.
No one is.
So, I mean, it's this whole, like, and then Lucic went and jumped the guy, and everyone's like, oh, see, this is what we're missing. We need people standing up for our teammates. I mean, look at all the Bruins injuries. That doesn't happen. Well, like, first of all, half the Bruins injuries are from non-contact stuff. Like, Kevin Miller blocked a shot with his hand. John Moore, we don't know what happened. Chara was a fluke thing. Bergeron, all right, fine, but Marchand stepped in right away, and no matter who's on the roster, Marchand's the first guy in there, because Bergeron's like his dad to him. No, they're like brothers, they're best friends. They do everything together. And I mean, like, the Bruins have plenty of toughness, like, to begin with. Like, they're like, it's just these hockey purists who are just as bad as baseball purists. I'm looking at you, Don Cherry and Mike Milbury. I'm really going nowhere with this here, but there's no point to this argument because the Bruins have enough toughness as it is. If it's Zdeno Chara, who's still going to murder anybody in the league, because it's just sheer height and strength advantage. Unless it's like Ryan Reeves, that dude's a freak. And you have Kevin Miller, then Marchand obviously won't be afraid to.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen.
You're fine.
And then you have Chris Wagner, Corrali, Achari, Backus.
Yeah. Well,
you're fine. You're fine.
You look weak when you have all these kids in the lineup like you do right now.
Of course you look weak. Anybody looks weak with like 20-somethings.
Yeah, that's why these thoughts are coming up, because you got Steven Kampfer out there getting bullied.
Kampfer's like 30, dude.
Whatever. He's not a kid. I don't...
Kampfer's 30 and just tiny.
Yeah, you know what I mean. There's no one to stand up for them because that's not the roster they have right now. But in 4 weeks or whatever, it could be.
Steven Kampfer. 30 years old, 5'11".
Yeah. 5'11". It's tiny. Woo!
And then you have Matt Grzelcyk and Torrey Krug both at 5'9".
Mm-hmm.
And,
that's just not the personnel you have right now. But it will be.
It will be.
It will be. You're fine.
You're going to be fine.
You're going to be fine. This is fine. All right. Well, now that we sound like hippies, I think that just about wraps it up for this week. Any fun plans for Thanksgiving?
I'm going home.
Same.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't really thought ahead.
Wow. Well, we'll be back here on the wonderful campus of Boston University.
On Monday.
For episode 10 of the podcast. Almost at 10 weeks.
10 episode anniversary, guys.
Wow. Drop a sub. No one... Yeah, sure.
Make a new logo like the Stars did for like their 25th anniversary.
Alrighty.
Like every professional team does for like a 5 or a 10 anniversary.
Mm-hmm. Big one, number 10. 100, here we come.
The big 1-0.
Big 1-0, it's a big... Alright. That'll do it for this week.
We'll be at 100 by sophomore year.
Yeah.
If we keep up with every week.
What? By the end of sophomore year?
Yeah. I mean, no.
By the start of junior.
Yeah, start of junior year.
If we do every single week.
Because I was thinking 52 weeks in a year, but we're obviously not here for all 52 weeks.
But we can record remotely.
We can. Is that a duck?
No, that sound comes from the corner of the room all the time. I don't know what it is.
I think you got a ghost of a duck in here or something. I don't know.
Did somebody kill a duck in my room?
It's gone. It knows we're here.
Wow. You people are witnessing this. This just turned into a horror podcast.
It knows.
It knows. Alright, well, what a way to end it.
I really hope the mic picked that up. If it didn't, we're crazy.
Well, man, you cannot write this stuff.
Exciting times in the friendly spooky confines of Warren Towers. Here we thought spooky season was over.
Oh, okay. Wow, we need to get the oxygen mask for Patrick over here. He has well and truly
lost. A water bottle for Patrick over here.
Yeah, that's true. All right.
The mouth is it's a desert right now.
Oh my
Phineas
God.
and Ferb when Perry was just like was just all shriveled up and dry. He's like, that's what I feel like right now.
What is this? Oh my God.
I'm filled with references. I am filled with references you will never see coming. Because I'm like the only person to use stuff like that on a daily basis that no one know what I'm doing.
Anytime we get over the 50-minute mark, it's just unbelievable after it.
Imagine doing this for 4 hours a day on a network radio station.
Oh, it would be a problem.
The final hour.
Alrighty. Oh, we gotta calm this kid down. As always, thank you guys so much for listening.
To put off homework.
Yeah, we got some homework to do here on this Sunday night. But we appreciate you guys tuning in here for the last just under an hour of your lives. And as always, stick around for future podcasts coming at you every single week. But that will do it. For Patrick Donnelly, I'm Brady Gardner. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, folks.